Tony, the gent Bellini, owed me one, and my son's future depended entirely on him, remembering a rainy night and a flat tire from nearly a decade ago. I stood outside the polished mahogany door of his supposed restaurant, the smell of garlic and oregano doing little to mask the cold sweat prickling my palms. Desperation tasted like bile in the back of my throat. I remembered that night vividly, the isolated stretch of highway, the sudden downpour, the expensive sedan listing sadly with a shredded rear tire. I had pulled over, thinking it was just some poor soul stranded. He got out, this older man in a tailored suit that somehow stayed immaculate despite the rain. He introduced himself simply as Tony. We worked together, me fumbling with the lug wrench, him directing with surprising calm. I noticed the heavy smell of pine air freshener trying too hard to cover something else, something coppery and thick, when he opened the trunk for the spare. It also seemed unusually weighted down, but I was young, naive, just happy to help. He pressed a thick wad of cash into my hand afterwards, which I tried to refuse, and then a plain white card with just a number. "A favor," he had said, his eyes dark and unreadable in the flashing hazard lights. "You ever need one, you call this number, on the house." I tucked it away, forgot about it mostly, until Leo's diagnosis came back, and the medical bills started piling up like insurmountable mountains. Insurance laughed in my face, savings evaporated, loans were denied. That little white card, tucked away in an old wallet, suddenly felt like the only lifeline left in a world drowning me. Finding him again wasn't easy. The number on the card was long dead. It took weeks of quiet, fearful inquiries in places I never thought I would go, whispering his name like a forbidden prayer until someone finally pointed me towards Bellini's trattoria. A heavy-set man in a black suit opened the door before I even knocked, his eyes scanning me with unnerving stillness. He just nodded me inside. The restaurant was empty, tables set with pristine white cloths, unnervingly silent. He led me through the kitchen, the real kitchen noises abruptly cutting off as we passed, and into a back office that smelled of cigar smoke and old leather. And there he sat, behind a massive oak desk. Tony Bellini, the reputed head of the city's underworld, looked older, grayer, but his eyes were just as sharp. They fixed on me, devoid of recognition at first. "You wanted to see me." His voice was softer than I remembered, but carried the same weight. I swallowed hard, my hands trembling slightly as I placed the faded white card on his desk. "You gave me this," I managed, my voice thin. "A long time ago, a flat tire, on Route 17. It was raining." Recognition flickered in his eyes, followed by a slow, assessing curiosity. He picked up the card, turned it over in his thick fingers. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. "I remember," he said slowly. "Kid with the old pickup truck, you got soaked." He leaned back, steepling his fingers. "A favor, that's what I said. What kind of trouble are you in, kid?" I told him everything. About Leo, the doctors, the impossible sum needed for the experimental treatment that was his only real chance. I laid my desperation bare on his expensive oak desk, feeling stripped raw. He listened patiently, his gaze never leaving my face. When I finished, silence stretched thick and heavy in the room. He tapped a finger on the desk, the sound echoing like a drumbeat. "My grandson," he said quietly, his voice suddenly laced with something that might have been pain. "He likes baseball." It seemed irrelevant, but I just nodded mutely. He looked back down at the card, then up at me. "All right," he said, the decision made. "The money, it will be taken care of, an anonymous donation to the hospital fund. No trace back to me or to you." Relief washed over me so intensely my knees nearly buckled. Tears pricked my eyes. "Thank you," I whispered, the words inadequate. "Thank you so much." He waved a dismissive hand. "A favor is a favor." He stood up, signaling the meeting was over. "But understand this," he added, his voice hardening slightly, the warmth gone. "Debts run both ways. This one is settled, but the world remembers who owes who." I nodded again, unable to speak, backing out of the office. The man in the suit escorting me silently back through the now bustling kitchen and out into the indifferent afternoon sun. The money appeared just as he promised, a miracle delivered from the unlikeliest of sources. Leo got his treatment. But I never forgot the look in Tony Bellini's eyes, or the unspoken weight of his final words. I had called in my marker, but I walked away feeling like I had just signed my name to a ledger I could never truly understand, forever bound by the memory of a rainy night. a flat tire, and the silent cargo hidden in the trunk.